Hello, everyone. Today is Wednesday, April 27th. Uh, we're going to pick up where we left off last week. So I'm going to do lesson B today. And I just posted out lesson A. So we're just going to kind of review lesson A and B, mostly because my technology wasn't working last week. So I'm at home today, and if you can see in the background, my husband is a huge baseball fan. So the room that I'm in, he has put baseball paraphernalia and pictures up on the walls. Okay, so I am going to share my screen with you. We are looking at Unit 7, and this is page, 86. Unit 7, page 86. And there we go. Okay, so we are going to work on comparatives, adjectives that compare. When you compare something, you're saying something is smaller than, or bigger than, or more expensive or less expensive. You have two items that you typically are comparing. So looking here, we have the two sofas. We have a white sofa that is $1,000, and we have a blue sofa that is $699. So if I were to compare them, the blue sofa is smaller. The white sofa is more expensive. Okay. And again, anytime I'm going to quickly pause and rewind and re-listen. My intention is not to go quickly, but it's kind of hard when I'm talking to myself here. Okay, so before we get into the comparatives over here, I did find a nice resource that kind of helped with making sense of the comparative adjectives and how to write them. So if you would like, you can pause the video and write this down, or like I said before, sometimes I just take my phone and I just take a picture of something so that I have it with me. So go ahead and do what you need to do. Okay, so comparative adjectives, if you are if they have one syllable, like the word is tall. Tall is one syllable. You would just add er, okay, the adjective plus er. If there's two syllables in the word and the word ends with y, such as happy, you change the y to an I and add er. So happy is a two-syllable word. It ends in y, so I'm going to drop the y, add an I, and then er. Happier. Other ones that I thought of were pretty, pretty. Pretty ends in y, so I would drop the y and add ier. Fancy, fancy ends in y, I would drop the y and add er. Okay, if it's a two-syllable adjective that does not end in y, then you use the word more in front of it, more or less, okay? So if the word is famous, we would say, oh, he is more famous than this guy over here. We don't say famouser or famousest. It would be more famous or less famous. And then if we have three or more syllables, then we also add the more plus the adjective, more or less. So beautiful, something is more beautiful, something is less beautiful, something is more expensive, something is less expensive. Beautifuler is not a word, and expensive-er is not a word. So anyway, I like the way that this kind of puts it out there, and it does go back to just exposure to the words in in written form, as we'll see here in our book, just becomes that fluency where it just becomes part of your writing. Okay, so here we go. We've got some comparatives here. So let's go through and we can read this together. We'll start on the left and go to the right. Big, bigger. Cheap, cheaper. Heavy, heavier. Pretty, prettier. Small, smaller. Comfortable, more comfortable. Expensive, more expensive. And then these are these irregular ones. Good is better. Good becomes better. Something isn't gooder or goodest, it's better. Okay. If you notice here, the heavy, it drops the Y, adds an I with an ER. Pretty, the same thing, dropped the Y, added an I, ER. Big needed an extra G to keep the I sound, the short vowel sound. Otherwise, it would be biger, which is not a word either. Okay, so here we go. We've got a question. Let's read the question. Which sofa is smaller? The blue sofa is smaller. Which sofa is more expensive? The white sofa is more expensive. And you can look on page 146 as well. Okay, so let's go through here. Complete the conversations, use comparatives. So number 1 corresponds with number 1 over here. Let's read the question together. Which sofa is more comfortable? Okay, so we've got 2 sofas over here. This is kind of an opinion, because I may think the green one's more comfortable, but you may think the blue one is more comfortable. So it is an opinion, which means there's no right or wrong. But if we were just looking at these without sitting in them, I would certainly say that the green one does look more comfortable just because it's got cushions, and this one looks nice. It just doesn't look as comfortable. Okay, so looking here, down in the answer, it says the green striped sofa or blue plaid sofa. Okay, so let's answer it. The green striped sofa is more comfortable. All right. Number 2, so now we're looking at these chairs. This chair looks to be made out of wood. This chair looks to be made out of plastic. Which chair is heavier? The orange chair or the purple chair? Write your answer. Pause the video. The orange chair is heavier. Very good. Wood typically is heavier than plastic, especially when you're looking at chairs like that. Here we go. Number 3, we're looking right here at number 3. There's this white refrigerator or this gray refrigerator. Which refrigerator is more expensive? Expensive means how much it costs. So if something is more expensive, it would cost more than something else, comparing. The small refrigerator or the large refrigerator? Go ahead and pause the video and write your answer. Okay, let's read this together. The large refrigerator is more expensive. Very good. Number 4, we're looking here at the 2 tables and we're comparing size. Read with me. Which table is bigger? Is it the square table or the round table? Pause the video and write your answer. Okay, let's read this together. The square table is bigger. All right, now we're looking at number 5. Okay, this is actually which stove is better. I mean, we can look at it and I can say it looks like the silver one's kind of fallen apart and stuff. So if we were comparing the two, the black one does look like it probably runs better and is probably a better machine. Okay, so is it the white stove or the black stove? Pause the video and write your answer. The black stove is better. Very good. All right, now we're at number 6. Which lamp is taller? Taller. Is it the floor lamp or the table lamp? So a floor lamp literally stands on the floor, and you don't need to set it on anything. And this table lamp, it would have been nice actually if they would have put the table lamp on a table, because the table lamp, although shorter, still belongs on a table. Okay, so pause the video and write your answer. The floor lamp is taller. Excellent. Okay, so now that we have this completed, you can pause the video and finish and fix your answers as needed. So now that you've got that done, let's go through and read each A and B, so it's more of a fluent, all-together reading. Let's begin with 1A. Which sofa is more comfortable? The green striped sofa is more comfortable. Which chair is heavier? The orange chair is heavier. Which refrigerator is more expensive? The large refrigerator is more expensive. Which table is bigger? The square table is bigger. Which stove is better? The black stove is better. Which lamp is taller? The floor lamp is taller. Very good. Okay, so let's move on to page 87. Okay, and here we go. We are going to make conversation here. And one thing that I just want to point out as I kind of looked over this, in number 7 here, we have the word cheap. And that's kind of a double meaning word. If something is cheaply made, typically it would like fall apart right away, or just it's not a very good product. And so you know, if you buy something that is cheaply made, which I have purchased things that are cheaply made, and you get home and it just kind of falls apart, it's frustrating and whatever. In this context, they're using cheap as less expensive, meaning it doesn't cost as much money. Whenever I'm talking about money, I do like to say it's less expensive rather than it is cheap or cheaper, just because I always think of how something's built and put together when I think of cheap rather than how much something costs. Does that make sense? So it's just a thought that I had that I wanted to share. We will do this both cheap and less expensive, but depending on the conversation that you're in, it could make a difference. You know, especially if you're having like a garage sale, you know, you wouldn't want to say that something that you own is cheap, or, you know, cheaply made or cheaply put together. You might say that it's less expensive than something else, which sounds better to somebody like, oh, that's less expensive. Oh, that's great. Not that it's cheap. So, yeah. Anyway. Okay, here we go. So we've got a dining table for $299, kitchen table for $99.95, a desk lamp for $75.99, and a floor lamp for $49.95. So we're just going to go through and we're going to change these bold, the bold to reflect what's in 1 through 8, okay? And number 1 is done for us. So here we go. Which table is heavier? So if I look at these two here, I would assume that the dining table is heavier, solid wood versus metal. I would just assume that. Okay, so the answer is The dining table is heavier. Let's try number 2. Which table is smaller? Yep, the kitchen table is smaller. Which table is more expensive? The dining table is more expensive. Which table is longer? The dining table is longer. Which lamp is shorter? The desk lamp is shorter. Which lamp is prettier? Again, this is kind of an opinion. I personally like the desk lamp, but you may like the floor lamp more. So this would be an opinion. There's not a right or a wrong, but I'm going to go with the desk lamp. The desk lamp is prettier. Which lamp is cheaper, meaning less expensive? The floor lamp is cheaper. So we could use that one too, and we could say less expensive. Let's try that. Which lamp is less expensive? The floor lamp is less expensive. Which lamp is better? Okay, again, another opinion piece. You may think this is better, you may think this is better. So there isn't a right or a wrong. Let's choose the floor lamp as better. The floor lamp is better. Okay, and then down here, this is just a comparison between two furniture stores. This is Perry's Thrift Shop and Greg's Used Furniture Mart. So a thrift shop and used furniture or secondhand furniture kind of all mean the same thing. It all means that you're not the first owner from a brand new showroom. You're the second or the third or the fourth owner of whatever it is. I love shopping at thrift shops and used furniture and secondhand stores, typically because things are less expensive. I can find things that are more unique than what I find in stores. And I just, sometimes there just isn't a need to buy something brand new. So there we go. So a secondhand, used furniture, and thrift shop are all kind of the same idea, meaning that it's been owned by someone else, and now it is being sold to a new person, but it is not a brand new product. So in here at Perry's Thrift Shop, I see we have a chair, and we have like a coffee table and maybe a desk of some sort and a floor lamp. And then over at Greg's Used Furniture Mart, we have a chair and maybe an end table. You might call this an end table because it could just go right on the side of the chair. A more modern looking desk and a table lamp. So kind of difficult to have a comparative conversation when it's just me. And I can't really see let me make this a little bit bigger here because I can't see it. All right, so the chair at Perry's is $79 and the chair at Greg's is $95. So we could compare and say the chair at Perry's Thrift Mart is less expensive than the chair at Greg's Used Furniture Mart. Okay. The desk is bigger at Greg's Used Furniture Mart compared to the desk at Perry's. So let's try that one. The desk at Greg's Used Furniture Mart is bigger than the desk at Perry's Thrift Shop. The lamp I cannot see a price on the lamp, and I hope that's a squiggly line. Otherwise, I need my glasses checked again. The floor lamp is taller than the table lamp. Okay. All right. So let me stop this here and let me show you just one more time this particular screen. So again, just take a look at this. If you need to, take a picture or write it down. I think this is a really good chart to help with the comparative adjectives. Okay, I'm going to stop here. All right, so that was lesson B. Tonight we're going to have a Zoom meeting at 6:30, and we'll go through lesson A and lesson B, and we'll just keep moving on. I hope everyone is well, and have a great night.